Pride and Prejudice, 2005 adaptation of a Jane Austen novel directed by Joe Wright, starring Keira Knightley, Matthew Macfadyen, Rosamund Pike, Jena Malone, Carey Mulligan, Donald Sutherland, Tom Hollander, Rupert Friend, and Dame Judi Dench. It was nominated for 4 Oscars, Best Lead Actress for Knightley, Best Art Direction, Costume Design, and Music. Also, interestingly, it has an uncredited, unpaid rewrite of the script, which was done by actress Emma Thompson, who reportedly is completely responsible for 2 rather important scenes. So, late 18th century, interestingly, the book itself is set almost 20 years later, in the early 19th century. Elizabeth Bennet is one of 5 sisters of an aging father who does not have a particularly large wealth. The girls are all vying to find a husband, preferably a rich one, so that they can support themselves and the family. A new rich young man, Mr. Bingley, arrives in the neighborhood, rents out a large mansion, captures the attention of everybody around. But with him arrives a more mysterious, more rich, more unavailable man named Mr. Darcy, who Elizabeth immediately decides she'll never, ever, ever be interested in. And, you know, even if you haven't read the book or seen the movie, you can guess where the story goes from there. So it's a very classic romance story, but done incredibly well. In fact, I've read the book a couple of years ago, and I didn't remember it in so much detail. What I did remember was that I liked it, but not very much. But watching the movie now, first of all, I suddenly reminded myself of many different things from the novel, which I thought I'd forgotten. And at the same time, I thought that the movie tells the same story, but in a much more brisk, understandable, and relatable way. I think that it manages to make it accessible for modern audiences without modernizing the story or the setting or the dialogue, which is kind of a difficult job to do. The majority of the conflicts in the film are understandable. You can sympathize with multiple different characters at once and realize why they're making the choices that they're making. Some of these characters are more romantic, some are more pragmatic. A lot of them have to abide by the social rules of the times. And yes, there are some basic communication issues at the heart of the problems, but they're pretty well written too, and it's not a case of, you know, characters not communicating being egregious and feeling like shoehorn drama. So the story works well, the performances are very good. I also really enjoyed the technical aspects of the film. The set design, costumes, music, hairstyles, all looks incredibly well thought out. And the cinematography is rather striking. I admired the composition of so many shots, and also the camera work, which in many cases is spectacular, with the long, unbroken takes like the one in the opening scene going through the house and introducing us to the characters, or the one at the Bingley Ball, where we switch between multiple rooms and characters and conversations. Very, very well done on that front. I enjoyed it. I think it's a great film based on a timeless book, and by no means is it a silly romantic film. It's just a well done drama with understandable, relatable characters coming into romantic conflict and trying with various success to resolve those conflicts.